Greetings, everybody. It's your boy, Sundin Esperance. Welcome to the I Thrive podcast. I'm very happy, as you know, why am I happy? We have another testimony on its way. Today we have brother Tedroy from
That's
where you from?
I'm in Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts, if I'm correct. Boston, Massachusetts. But Tedroy is like your background Jamaican or
No, my background is Guyanese. I'm from Guyana in the South America.
Guyana. Wow. Hey, first Guyana I have on here. Oh, Tedroy sounded a bit, Jamaican way, because Tedroy, come here, boy. They got in the lines of there, but no, I'm glad to have you, brother. Ready and willing to come on and share your testimony. It's always like I'm always very happy when a brother or sister is ready and willing to come and share it. And I know it's just been some time and so forth, but now we're here today. Before we begin, brothers and sisters, as you know, this podcast affiliates itself with one church and one church only. That is First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ, where the leader, teacher, and guide is Apostle Pastor Gino Jennings. Also, if you want to see if there's a church in your area, now things are starting to open certain places. You can go on the truthofgod.com, click locations, and see if there's a location near you. Also, if you want to get baptized right in the name of Jesus Christ, you can go on the truthofgod.com, fill out a baptismal request, and God willingly, a local minister or a main point of contact from that area will reach back to you and set that baptism up. Also, keep one another in prayer. Keep, as you know, I've was putting a GoFundMe for Brother Sam Zena, as he had stage 4 cancer. Um, Fortunately, Brother Sam has passed on. So keep the family in prayer. It's tough. It's. I was having a conversation with Brother Sam at the recent end of year service. So in 2020, and now here, getting ready for another convention. He's gone. So it's crazy. Where stuff like that could happen. Brothers and sisters. That's why when a minister says it or the apostle says not everybody's gonna make it to 2021. It could be the brother you're speaking to. It could be yourself. We don't know, right? So keep his family in prayer. It's because he was a young brother. It wasn't like he was a 90-year-old, 100. Sometimes there's a bit comfort there because people could say, oh, he's old. I believe Brother Sam was either in his late 30s or in his early 40s. He was a young brother. He wasn't old. When I seen him, when I was talking to him, when we were, he was young. He looked fit. He looked perfectly fine, just the way I'm talking right now. And then to hear, about the cancer and now he passed away, that's it's one of the tough things within truth, but within the good and the bad, we still gotta give God thanks, still gotta give him the praise, even though it's at times in certain situations it may make no sense, but you still have to give him the glory. So keep him in prayer. Also keep Pastor Bishop Taylor in prayer. For he is not well at all. It's in fact, his daughter was the recent one. I was interviewing the recent podcast and I didn't even know, but because she was so used to seeing him in shape and well formed, but now to see the way he is now, keep him in prayer and the family and so forth. And as well, I can't name everybody, but those who are sick, those all that, let's keep one another in prayer sincerely, because we all need it. Keep me in prayer. I'm never going to be shy to ask for prayer. Keep me and my family in prayer. And my goal is to keep striving and make the first resurrection. Nothing else is more important to me than that. So I'm gonna stop talking now. We're gonna get over to Guyana. Brother Tedroy. He's proud. Guyana, I'm proud. So Brother Tedroy, please let us know how is it you were in the world and all that, and how did you come into the truth of God?
Okay, no problem, brother. I'm gonna start from when I first moved to America, because when I was over in Guyana, I didn't like my family. My mother, she brought me up with good morals. So back then, most of the time, I didn't really like go out and those kind of things, have friends, and so that would influence me bad. But when I first came to America, I came back in 2006, no, 2016. That's when I first came to America. I came to Boston, and I started to go to school. And when I go to school, this is when I start to going out, meet friends, and so I remember Guyana is like a different culture compared to America.
Mm.
So Guyana is more stricter compared to over here.
Yeah.
This is what I see. So I go out. I Back then I was like, I want to fit in, I want to make friends, and those kind of things. So
Mm.
I would make friends over in America, and this is when everything changed. The moral, and so my mom and so brought me up with. This is when I start seeing the big transition. But at that moment, my eyes wasn't open to see it.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, I was thinking, I'm fitting in. If I do this, if I do that, I'm fitting in with the other America children, which is
Mm-hmm.
my friends.
Yeah.
So we would go out. Like I would go to parties late night, sometimes some parties, college party.
Yeah.
I would like I never really smoked back in Guyana, but when I came here, is when I start. I never ever smoked weed.
Wow.
I came here, and my friends influenced me.
Mm-hmm.
And by then, I wasn't that strong to stand up
Yeah.
because I wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I remember my first experience with that. The I smoked, it was strong. It was so
Mm-hmm.
strong. I was sick like for a whole week. I
Wow.
felt sick. My head was like spinning me. It like was in pain. I thought I
Mm.
was gonna die, to be honest.
Wow.
But after that wear off, it's like my friends them influenced me again. So I was like, I was kind of scared, but I still
Mm-hmm.
find myself going and do it. So
Mm.
I went and do it. When I go, this one wasn't that strong, so I enjoyed it. So I started to feel like I started getting addicted to it.
Wow.
So I addicted to that, smoking, drinking. I find myself drinking a lot. Usually in Guyana, I never used to drink this much,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. When I came over here, this when I saw the things I doing is like I never did back home because of the way
Mm-hmm.
my parents brought me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But eventually, it's like suddenly I just find myself like don't want to do this anymore. It's like oh, it feels like I know this isn't right. It's like a day I just stop and think, oh, my parents didn't bring me up this way,
Mm-hmm.
and why do I find myself like getting addicted to things that I never was addicted to? That's not right,
Mm-hmm.
based on what my parents taught me.
Yeah.
They didn't taught me holiness, but they brought me up with good morals.
Mm-hmm.
And the little that I know that they brought me up with this, what I use to judge myself. So this is what I said. I was like, this isn't right. So I eventually ease off from that. And then I move on to doing weightlifting,
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And so I was training to become body you know those men's physique when they
A
go on this
bodybuilder.
yeah, bodybuilder, a
Mm.
professional bodybuilder, men's physique when they go on the stage,
Yeah.
they show their body and those
Yeah.
kind of thing. I was training to become that. And suddenly, as I could remember, is last year, July month end, what I realized is at the gym, I was working out in the gym, and all of a sudden, my vision, I start seeing my vision started getting a little blur.
Mm.
My vision getting blur, I feeling this drainish kind of feeling. I didn't take it for nothing.
Mm.
I continue going to the gym. The next day I went to the gym, it was like a Friday. I finished working out, so I was coming home.
Mm.
I coming home, I just feel my body was drained. I feel like if I was gonna fall down. I thought it was from sleep deprived because around last year, the July 27 is when I started a new job position as a contractor, and I was already getting sleep. So I thought to myself it probably was sleep deprived. I didn't take it for nothing. I continue going to the gym workout, continue working. I tried to catch up on my sleep because I thought was sleep deprived. I catch up on my sleep, but for some reason, I still feel this kind of way and I feel worse. I feel drained, like if I'm gonna die.
Mm.
I remember one day lying on my bed, and it's like, I don't want to get up. It's like, I feel this feel, I don't want to eat. I don't want to get up. I just feel so tired, and I feel so tired, and still I can't get to sleep. So I was like, nah, this doesn't seem right. So in August, last year, August, I decided to go to the doctor to see what's really going on. When I went to the doctor, They test, they said nothing is wrong with me. They said it's probably fatigue myself and so they tell me let me try to catch up more on my rest. And then I still start feeling this way. I remember this one day I was at work, I was sitting down. I imagine I was sitting down at my desk, I was crying. I literally was crying at the pain I was feeling. I feel like my whole skin was paining terribly. My whole skin was paining, and I was feeling like if I couldn't eat nothing, like if I like would have starved myself to death. These are the kind of feeling I was feeling. I tried to explain to others like how I was feeling, but to me, I think that they didn't really understand how I was feeling. The pain I was feeling, I was walking on the road, going to work, coming back, and it's like I want to fall down. I want to, like I was gonna die. I thought I was on my last.
Mm.
I sit down there crying at work. I was like, Father, take me, because the pain I'm going through, I gave up, to be honest. I was
Mm.
like, Father, take me. I literally cry and say that.
Mm.
Then what happened? I went on Facebook
Mm.
and I saw a prophet named Prophet TB Joshua. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I heard of him before. I heard of, never listened to him, but I know who you're talking about. A guy
Yeah,
with like kind of like an afro, no?
that's right.
I know.
It's an African Nigerian.
Nigerian, of course. Because as I had a brother, not a couple podcasts ago, he said Nigeria are breeding false prophets. They're just breeding false prophets. Eh?
It's true,
Oh,
yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. But yeah.
Yes. So I was watching, how he shows on Facebook, healing
Mm,
services and so,
mm,
because the way I was feeling, I was like, I need healing because I thought I was gonna die. I was in
yes.
pain. I didn't feel my appetite was lost.
Mm,
I was like, I thought it was my last I was on. I was like, I don't know if when gonna be the day when I'm gonna just like go.
mm,
I thought it was my last. So I was watching his services and so about him healing people and those kind of thing. And I watch in every service because it's some he would pray for the viewers and those kind of things.
mm,
So I try to be in everything. 'Cause I wanted
mm,
the healing
mm,
at that moment. So
mhm.
I came across a next one named Prophet Pastoran. He's from South Africa. I don't know if you know him, but I came
Ryan East?
Prophet Pastoran. This is what his Facebook
Ran.
name is.
Maybe if I see his face, that doesn't ring a bell. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah, from South Africa. So he had his WhatsApp number on Facebook. So I decided to take down his number and add him on WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
So I reach out to him, I text him, I let him know what I'm going through, and he reached back to me. He said, but you see that this is the work of the enemy, isn't it? The enemy attacked me and put me in this sickness and those kind of things,
Mm-hmm.
and on his whenever he put video and so on Facebook or YouTube, what he get every at the corner, he giving you the amount of money, the amount of money he wants you to show for tithes. Yeah, he literally have how much money he want, like 200 something
Yeah.
US and all those kind. He actually
Mm-hmm.
get the money at the corner for you
Wow.
to show in his ministry.
Wow.
And what happened? I reached out to him.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that he could prophesy to me. So
Mm-hmm.
me, I didn't really get no knowledge, like real of the truth of God,
Mm-hmm.
no scripturally knowledge. So I reach out to him. I pay for him to prophesy to me.
Wait, hold on, wait. You had to pay him to
That's right.
prophesy. That was his rule. If you didn't pay him, no prophecy.
No, no, I have to
Why?
pay for him to prophesy to me.
I've heard of other stuff. I've never heard of this before. So you had
Yeah.
to. So you go to him. Okay, you don't have no knowledge. You said, okay, prophesy over me. How much like did you have to pay?
I think I paid 200 something US.
Hombre! Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Yeah,
200 something US dollars.
that's right.
Hi,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because no, because to us in Canada,
Uh-huh.
that's because American money is worth way more. So
That's
that's,
right.
good chunk.
Yeah.
$200. And here you didn't have no knowledge. You didn't have what was going through your mind while you were because that's $200.
Remember the moment because of how I was feeling and all of those kind of things. It's like the
You're
only thing
desperate.
I want this healing. I want
My
this healing. I want
days.
this healing. It was in my mind. So I'm gonna do what it takes to get this healing.
So you pay him $200. So how was the money sent? Like PayPal or like how was he?
Uh, Western Union.
Western Union. So
That's right.
you even paid the Western Union fee to send him the money.
That's right. I
So
did. I did.
now he gets the money, and
That's
okay. So what's the prophecy he had for you?
when he prophesied. Remember, I remember when Pastor Gino Jennings was preaching when he talked about the devil. Oh, he would tell you some lie and some truth.
Mm-hmm.
When he prophesied, some things he said was on point. He
Mm-hmm.
called my mother name, that was on point.
Mm-hmm.
He called my father, he gave the description of him, that was on point. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and let me see the other thing that he prophesied. Oh, he prophesied about my job, that was on point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that one was on point. All right. So after he prophesied and so because I see it was on point, I was still blind.
Yeah.
I see it was on point. I was like, oh, this is a real prophet of God. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, ooh, we'll finally find a man of God. This is a real prophet of God.
Mm.
So he prayed over me. When he prayed over me, I find out I had a cloven tongue. I started thinking like a cloven tongue
Mm.
when he prayed over me. So I thought it was a real thing. And he
Mm.
was like, yeah, you speaking in tongue. You speaking in tongue, you speaking in tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so after that, what happened after you pray over me and so I finished? Well, I feel so happy.
Yeah.
I feel so happy. I finally find a man of God. I'm gonna get this healing, and so I keep continue watching his video. What I realized when I was watching his video, he keep mentioning that the things that he's preaching to us, we wouldn't find it in no book. It's from God Himself. God, the angels bring it down to him from God Himself.
Wow. So
This is what he,
so pretty much whatever that thing is, the nonsense, whatever he's preaching,
yeah,
people are obviously gonna look into the, some people, of course, they're gonna
yeah,
look into the Bible and say, well, I don't see this prophet. I don't see it. But his response was, well, you know what? This right here, directly, God's angels give it to me. It's not in there.
yeah,
This it's special for me. It's not in. That's what he's saying.
yes, yes.
Wow. These false prophets, it's like they get better and better as the year goes on. I never heard that
Try
one.
different techniques.
Yeah, no, I never heard that one before. So now has that's going on, and he's telling you these things. Now what
Yes.
happens?
After that, what happened? He would get like anointed beads. He would give out that, and for the anointed bead, you gotta buy that as well from him. So because I really, really wanted this healing, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'm gonna buy. I buy the anointed bead for him. I wore the anointed bead, and still, when I wore this anointed bead, I still didn't get in heal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I still feeling the same way. And what makes it worse is, as I could remember, because I used to watch him all the time at nights, when I would sleep, spirits would come and attack me. I would literally see spirits come, hold me down. I could move in my sleep. I can't move. I can't move. I wake up. I went back to sleep. That is the first night I get an attack. I went back to sleep, and another one just came and rest itself on me and just holding me down, trying to kill me. And what I realized when I get up in the morning is like I can't remember how much attacks I get, but I get like like about five or so or more. I don't know. I can't really remember right now, but it's a lot of attack I got when I was watching that prophet. And every time I get an attack and I wake up in the morning, it's like I feel worse.
Mm-hmm.
My body pain, I feel worse. I feel like I'm on my last, my breath cutting. It's like I feel worse every time I get an attack.
And it's every time. So you were it wasn't while you were watching the prophet. It's every time you finish watching him and you would go to bed that same evening. That's when the spirits they came and
Well,
attacked you.
some nights they wouldn't, but some nights they would.
They would.
So it's
It
not
wasn't, it
every
wasn't
night.
every night. It wasn't every night. But every night that they did come, you watched The
I used
that
to watch him every day. I used
every
to watch
day.
it every day. A
Wow.
lot of video, especially when I'm at work. I used to watch it every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, every time they attack me, I used to feel more sick.
Mm.
I was like, this doesn't seem right. I reach out to him. I said, Prophet, so attack. He was like, these are demons. They try to kill you. They try to kill you.
Mm.
These are demons. They're trying to kill you, but they ain't gonna kill you. And and so, anyways, what what was revealed make I know this is not really a prophet of God. I remember. Oh yeah, let me tell you about the next prophecy that he prophesied to me. Then I'm gonna go to that part.
Mm.
But I remember it was December last year. December was coming on to New Year's,
Mm.
and he was giving prophecy for the New Year's or so. So I was watching his live video. So
Mm.
he decided to prophesy me. You know how much I had to pay for my 2021 prophecy? I had to pay 300.
Oh yeah, 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 man. That is
Yeah, I
just.
had to pay 300 for my 2021 prophecy.
I don't know how these false prophets do it. I don't know. I really don't know how you could just take on a certain image, say that God sent you, and
Yeah.
charge people. I've
Yeah.
never. This is new to me. I've never heard. I know they sell. They would sell anointed oil bottles and left and right, but pay for prophecy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so why was the 20? Did he tell you why the 2021 one was more expensive?
No, he didn't say that. And
Didn't.
I was like scripturally literate and so
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't think of say asking him all of that question.
Right. So you didn't pretty much at that moment in time, you didn't know
Mhm.
any better. You just did not
That's
know. Right.
that's right. I didn't know better.
Right. And so now that you pay this $300 USD
That's
to
right.
get your prophecy, what does he say?
All right. The prophecy was he prophesied over me. He was like, the Lord is telling me 2021, you will start with new strength. I will start with new strength. I'm gonna be financially stable. And he
Mhm.
said the Lord is telling him that I'm gonna get married soon. You see a wedding. The Lord is telling him, you see a wedding.
In in 2021.
Yeah, there's a prophecy.
My days.
You see a wedding. The Lord
And he
is
said
telling.
and he said the Lord told him this.
Yeah, he said the Lord is telling him that you see a wedding. You see, I'm gonna get married.
Mm.
Anyways, after that, uh, I was so excited. The
Mm-hmm.
prophecy got me excited.
Yeah, yeah.
I was so excited, and what revealed is was a day I came home from work early, and it was live. So I said, okay, I'm gonna tune in and listen whatever message he got. When I tune in, this prophet say because he was talking about June to the election, he was another prophet that prophesied that Trump gonna win too. He
Wow.
prophesied telling all his followers but vote for Trump and all that thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of them as well.
Mm.
So he said uh oh yes he said that because uh Trump didn't win, oh America a whole lot of uh issues and corruption gonna rise in America. And he said that even God wouldn't be able to stop it, and even heaven wouldn't be able to stop it. And based on the little knowledge I know, I was like, this doesn't sound right. I know
Mm-hmm.
God could do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
he said that. I was like, is he really a prophet of God?
Mm.
This is when my eyes came open. I was like, nah, this doesn't sound right.
Mm.
I did uneasy, I did listen, I did uneasy, and I just did thinking to myself, I said, nah, why he said that? And
Mm.
God could do anything. I was like,
Mm.
nah, this doesn't sound right.
Oh.
So I talked to my aunt, one of my aunt who I record the part where you said that. I let my aunt listen. And I was like, you see, I told you, he's not a prophet of God. He's
Oh.
all about money, money, money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I just find myself like just easing off from watching him. And then I completely stopped watching him. And then my grandma, she was in vacation back in Guyana. And my aunt, a day she was browsing on YouTube, and all of a sudden she came across Pastor Gino Jennings, the Truth
Mm.
of God.
Mm.
She kept watching his debates and his messages, and so Then she introduced it to my grandmother. My grandmother, she came back from Guyana. That was, I think, around last December time, and she came back to Boston here. When she came, she introduced the truth of God to me, but I didn't really take it for nothing at that time. Yeah, I was like, whatever, around that time, and I started tuning back to because I grew up in Pentecostal, back in Guyana. So I started back tuning in back to the Pentecostal. I started I started like packing charity stuff, send for them. I would give tithes, offering, and so to them and those and those kind of thing. And after I do so, what happened is like I don't know, for some reason, I don't know how, I all of a sudden find myself watching the truth of God. I was like, was like, all right, and I was like, let me keep on watching it just to see. Cause my auntie telling me, oh, this is true, holiness and those kind of thing. But when I look at it, it's like, look, whole time I was like, I didn't want to watch that. So I just find my, it was, I think this year, sometime early this year or so, I find myself watching the truth of God. I kept watching it, and like as I watch it, it's like all of a sudden I start feeling my heart prick, and like I just can't stop watching the truth of God. At work, I would doing my work, watching the truth of God, and so and around July, uh yeah, around that time, after I learned about true repentance, I learned about the right way to be baptized, and so I was like, I keep telling myself, I want to go and get baptized. I want to go and get baptized the right way. Every time I say I'm gonna get baptized, for some reason I'm not fine. I didn't find myself going. I didn't find myself going. So what happened is that August, I spent the whole August on vacation. Back in Guyana, I spent the whole August, take a month off from work and just go to vacation. And when I was on vacation, two Sundays, I think I went to the Pentecostal, two different churches there. And after that, I was like, ah, I'm just gonna stay home and watch the truth of God. I stayed home and watched the truth of God after then, and after I keep watching it, it's like I just feeling it different. Like I start feeling the fear of God, the real fear of God. I just start feeling this fear. And I was like, all right, when I go back home, I want to go and get baptized. And then I still feeling the same sickish way. Then I was still feeling sickish way. Uh, before I'm gonna come back to the baptized part, but what happened is back in March, April, May, around that time, I went to Guyana for one of my cousin's funeral, and when I was there, because I still was feeling sick, I decided to go to the doctor. When I go to that doctor there, they test me, and so they say I'm pre-diabetic. So they say I'm pre-diabetic, and they tell me to change my diet, to drink more water and work out, like to lose weight and those kind of things. I do that, and still I did that, and still I still felt the same way. My blood sugar is stable, my blood pressure is stable, and still I feel the same way. So I was like, it can't be pre-diabetic if I still feel this kind of way. And another time I went to the doctor and I test, and they said that is rhabdomyolysis, which is rhabdomyolysis is like when you overwork out, your muscle does break down and is release a kind of enzyme into your bloodstream, which could cause damage to your kidney or complete damage to your kidney. So they tell me was that too. They tell me to drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water, drink a lot of water, drink a lot of water, and still I feel the same way. So I was like, you know what? Now I still feel the same way like right now, but it's not like I was feeling back then. I feel way different from how I was feeling back then. So I keep trusting in God, and I know with my faith that I have in Him that one day He will see me through and heal me completely from whatever I'm going through right now. But going back to the baptism is after I came back from my vacation in August, around late August, I came back from vacation. I came. I started back work in September. When I was working in September, I still find myself keep listening the truth of God at work. And the one thing that was a distraction that was preventing me as well from devoting myself fully to God is was it was bodybuilding
Mm.
because that was like I was obsessed with it, to be honest. I was so obsessed. Every minute you would see me on YouTube watching YouTube video to build this muscle, to build that muscle, and all those kind of thing, how to lift weight properly and all those kind of thing. I was so obsessed with that. And I remember in September, Friday, it's a Friday in September, uh I was working out with a friend, and I was like, I stop and I think, I was like, I gotta really make it right with God. This bodybuilding, I gotta really like devote myself and this bodybuilding in the way of me fully devoting myself to God. And that Friday I was working out and I was thinking, I was like, I want to go get baptized. I want to fully devote myself to God. What happened is that the Saturday I decided to take the bus to go down to New York. I think the Saturday, the September 25th,
Mm.
if I'm right. Yeah, September 25th. I decided to go down and take the bus from Boston here to go down to New York. While I was going on the way, I was like, Tedroy, this is it. No turning back. No turning back. No turning back.
Mm.
I was at one of my aunt friend house. I spent the night. When I was there lying in the night to sleep, and I was like, I just keep thinking about it. I was like, tomorrow is it. Tomorrow, no turning back. Tomorrow, no turning back. When I find I was going, it's like all of a sudden, all kind of thoughts like just keep coming in my head. All kind of distract thoughts, try to distract me and those kind of things. But I still the mentality I had is like I gotta go and do this right. I was like I was thinking like this way that make me pushing to go and do it is like if now I die now, where I'm gonna go. I was thinking that kind of way, and that keep driving me to go and make myself right with God, do it the right way. Because I was baptized like around age 11, 12 in Pentecostal,
Mm.
Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. I was baptized that way. And around that time, I didn't even know what is repentance.
Mm.
It's my parents sent me to go get baptized that
Mm.
night.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what was repentance.
Mm.
So, all right, coming back to baptism. So when I went to New Brunswick, New Jersey temple, so I take an Uber from where I was staying in New York, and I went that morning to church. When I went to church, to be honest, soon as I entered the church, it was like I felt a different atmosphere that I never really felt in church. It just feels so different.
Yeah.
Everyone was praying,
Mm-hmm.
Lord Jesus, praying, crying out to God, Lord
Mm.
Jesus, and so. And I was there. I was sitting. I was like, I feel different.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt this different. And then
Mm.
all of a sudden the thoughts and so just keep coming back, trying to distract me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm gonna stay focused. I gotta make this right. And the minister that was ministering was Minister Roger Coles. Mr. Roger Coles was
Mm-hmm.
ministering. And I was just waiting to Minister Roger Coles to say, we want to be baptized, stand up. Soon as I heard that, I stand to my feet right away.
Mm.
And while I was before I stand, I was like, Father, I really want this. I need you to fill me with your spirit. I want to
Mm.
come up speaking in tongues. And so
Mm.
so I stand up. I went and changed to go get baptized. When I get baptized, I came up. I was like, Father, I was like, Father, I asked to receive the Holy Spirit. And I came up and I felt kind of disappointed. Like so I was like, this ain't feel right, Father, please. So after I was going up the stairs, all of a sudden my body started feeling different. All of a
Mm.
sudden my body started shaking, and I opened my mouth and started speaking in other tongue, and everybody started rejoicing,
Mm.
and it was great. After I finish, because after when I go down to church in New York, I only stay for the first service because I gotta come back to go to work Monday morning early. So after I finish the first service, I get baptized, receive the gift of the Holy Ghost, and I leave and went back to the bus that I usually take to come back to Boston. When I was coming back to Boston, I just felt so happy. I felt happy. I never felt this way before. Yeah, and I went to work. All of a sudden, I start feeling a change in my work environment. Like every time I try to speak, it's like I just felt this fear. Like, be careful what you
What you
say. You
say,
don't want to
yeah.
say anything
Wow.
to yeah, anything that would contradict the scriptures and those
Mhm.
kind of things. So, and all of a sudden, I just feeling the changes differently. I used to do this, I used to do this, I used to do that. And then I just feel like I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that anymore. And I just feeling the change as I listen to the word. And so sometimes in times the word would just come back to me just like that. Yeah. And yeah, when I received the Holy Ghost as well, sometimes nights I would wake up and just find myself speaking in tongues just like that. Speaking in tongues as I sleep. When I wake up, I find myself just speaking in tongues just like that. I remember one night I had a dream that I was sleeping. I had a dream that I was in the same New Brunswick temple in New Jersey, and all of a sudden something white just do bang, and all of a sudden I wake up from the dream and I find myself speaking in tongues just like that. I was like, wow, this is wonderful. And yeah, from then to now, it's like I find is every time some kind of thoughts come in my head. Every time I pray, I ask God to remove it, something else come in. Then it's just like that. It's like different thoughts, different thoughts, different thoughts. And it's sometimes I would feel drained because of the fight, just fighting to try to get this thought or try to get that thought on. I would feel it would feel drained, to be honest. Sometimes I would feel tired because of the what's happening in my head. I just try to fight it. So yeah, and from then to now is my life has just been different. It's a lot of struggles, but I just see the changes, things changing in my life. And some thoughts that I was really fighting with, and I pray and I pray and ask God, it's like slowly I seeing it dying away. Like I used some thoughts used to like come in my head like repeatedly. It's like it started dying away. If it come in like 10 times, it go down like the 5 times and it just dying away slowly. I see there's a change happening and God has been great to me. God's been wonderful to me.
Wow, no, that's wonderful, brother. That's it. It's you're a prime example of what of how a false prophet can use somebody. Because at that moment in time, you were sincere, you were
Mhm.
doing the right thing, you're looking for healing,
That's
and
right.
you're trying to look for a real man of God. Came
That's right.
across frauds, and you came
Yeah.
across those frauds because you didn't know no better. But something you said that struck my attention was it's the false prophet from South Africa.
Yeah.
It's when he said not even God can stop what so and so. You said the little knowledge that you had, and
That's right.
and that goes to show even as little as the knowledge you had, it still was knowledge where whoa, now something is wrong. When
Yes.
you're saying this about now, from that little knowledge you had, it enabled you and allowed you to completely separate yourself from this false prophet and his false nonsense
That's right.
into something real to get more knowledge. So now that the more knowledge you have, you can do better with that
That
knowledge. And that's what it is. It's a true blessing to know that despite of what we were in,
yeah.
from how we were, where God could bring us to where we are now. And it's a
Yes.
true blessing. But because for you, I know it, when as immigrants, I'm not an immigrant, but me, when I was in school,
Yeah.
hung up with a lot of them. A lot of them, they will come, they're just trying to fit in. Especially when I
Yes.
was in high school, like, because you're coming from a whole different country,
That's
and
right.
usually the islands, it's way strict, and that
Yeah.
respect, it's there because it's like you get respect for respecting your mom or respecting your dad. It wasn't where in the islands where, oh, you really gonna listen to your mom, versus when you come to America, you get made fun of. Or
True.
Canada, it's like this in Canada too. But when you go to America, it's like you get made fun of listening to your mom and dad. Oh, you let your mom and dad tell you what to do? My mom and dad,
Yeah.
they can't tell me nothing. Like, dude, if my mom tries to do something, we're gonna go to blows, like whatever they go.
True.
And so and so, and so really, it's as immigrants, when you come to the new country, it's not just I see it so many times. They're just putting themselves in so many different things because
yeah,
this is standard. This is the cool way. This is, I'm in this country now, so this is what I need to do. And you leaving your home, you leaving structure,
yes,
this is what happens, which is a lot of parents fear. That's why some parents, they don't want to send their kids away because they
true.
know maybe sometimes, man, my kid may not be strong enough or bold enough to withhold certain things that's going to be approached or offered to him. Because you're going to listen, doesn't matter who you are as a person. When you go through that college, university, or whatever, even in high school, you're going to be offered quite a number of stuff.
That's
You're
true.
you're gonna be offered a number of stuff. And I remember, I believe it was Sister Janelle Taylor who said, when going to college or university and so forth, you're gonna see how much of the truth is really in you. Because look, you
True.
can listen to it and hear it over and over again, but how much is it of it is really inside of you.
That's
And
right.
so, in terms of your positioning, I completely understand 150%. You're coming on as an immigrant and you're very vulnerable. You're very,
Yeah,
very vulnerable. And I believe the people you were hanging around with, they knew that as well. They seen that. And so you got within that circle, but thank God you're here today. Question I have for yourself is, on your way to getting baptized, because
yes,
that's a good decent trip versus somebody who just may have to drive 20 minutes, 10 minutes because PJ is going to be in town or so forth. From that drive of the bus, of you going there, you're having these thoughts and so forth
yes,
coming to mind. When of course you got more knowledge being in this teaching. when you
that's
when you look at it now, where you
yes.
are now, when you look at it, what do you believe it was, like yourself personally that did not want to do it, or was it just these thoughts literally just started shooting from out of nowhere?
That's right. The thoughts just all of a sudden, I like thoughts I never really think about. Just all of a sudden start
it,
coming
it,
in my
it
head.
just came out of no, it just shot right in
Yeah,
your head.
yeah. I was like, what? I never really get these kind of thoughts.
Like never, so you pretty much, you never had these thoughts in your life, and all of a sudden here you're trying to go get baptized, they just
Yeah,
shoot right away.
yeah. When I was out there, didn't want to get baptized, and so these thoughts wasn't
Yeah.
even thinking in my head.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, I go in and get baptized, and all of a sudden, these thoughts all of a sudden start coming in my head. I was like, what?
Wow.
I was like, I was surprised. I was like, how
Mhm.
come all these thoughts just all of a sudden coming in my head?
Yes, yes, yes. And in terms of, now you go down in water, thanks be to God, he gives you that precious gift of
Yes.
speaking in other tongues. Was the transition difficult from, now you were in whatever ways you were before, but now coming into truth? Was the transition a bit difficult for yourself?
Uh, it wasn't that difficult. Uh, because based on to me, like I nah, it wasn't that difficult because like I find myself as like I want to know,
Mm-hmm.
and because Pastor Gino Jennings, God lead him the way he preach, is directly from the Bible.
Mm.
So that give me a comfort because compared to the other false prophets and so that give me a comfort. And I said, this is the real thing because the way he preach is like every single thing is scripturally,
Wow.
scripturally, scripturally. So it's like, yes, this is comfortable. So this is why I decided to transition to this. Go all over looking at different things.
And did you have any fears of, listening to the truth of God? Because, and which would be understandable, because you went from prophet to prophet, you did not have good experiences. And usually it takes somebody one experience to say, look, I'm not trying this again. You know what? This God stuff, a bunch of these men calling themselves prophets and so forth. A lot of them, they're just a bunch of hustlers out here. I'm not gonna take that risk no more. Like, was there any fear for you to go and listen to truth, or like what was it that you knew this time? Okay, now I know, like, this is true, because you have some false
Yes.
prophets out there.
Mhm.
They preach truth and lie.
Uh-huh.
Some of the stuff they say, yes, it's right, it's from the scriptures, but then you have stuff they say where it's not scriptural, or where they take the scripture and they twist it, which is, those are the scary false prophets right there, when they have truth and lie. So for yourself, what made you so sure that Apostle Pastor Gino Jennings is a man from God? Like, how, what made you so sure this time?
Okay, so all right, first I'm going to give an example about a false prophet
Mm,
and passage.
mm,
So with a false prophet, they barely read from the Bible.
mm.
They barely read from the Bible, and what they teach, if they read from the Bible, they don't like break it down so I could get an understanding of it. They just preach from the head and they're saying that is from God, and those kind of things. Compared to
Mhm.
Pastor Gino Jennings, what he preach, he always give scriptures
Mhm.
for us to understand.
Mhm.
So there's always sure that this is the real thing. 'Cause every single thing the Holy Ghost lead Pastor Gino Jennings to preach
Oh,
is scripturally it gets scripturally evidence to back it up. So there's always sure that was real. This is really the truth.
oh. And so, in terms of pretty much the answer I'm getting from you is you were really serious. You really wanted to get right with God because,
That's true.
in terms
That,
of your case, with so many people that are ignorant, it's the opposite. The pastor barely preaching from the Bible, and the church sometimes is packed. People
yeah,
are jumping, shouting, screaming, hallelujah, this and that, boom, 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 and everything. I know a sister, she was telling me where that it was apostolic. Apostolics, they've been in some nonsense. But they would have their singing and everything and all that and everything.
yeah.
And literally, they say because the music is so good, we don't need no preaching.
Really?
Yeah, she said
Oh,
they don't they would say no, the music it's too live right now, it's too jumping, we don't need the message. I said
wow.
what? That's the,
Wow.
that's the main purpose of going to
Yes.
church, is to get that. And you mean to tell me they're saying no, we don't need the message? It was, you understand? So it's in your case, so many
Yeah.
people are in what you were in.
Mhm.
Nothing's there. They're just going inside of it. They just hear Jesus here and Jesus
Yeah.
there. Love him. He loves you, and left and right, and that's it. But for yourself, you knew that Apostle Pastor Gino Jennings was sent from God because what he was preaching was given to him by God, and it was given with Bible, chapter, and verse. It was
That's
no
right.
opinion, no philosophy, no
That's right.
things he decided to make up, no things he decided to add, but it was pure Bible, chapter, and verse. It's a wonderful thing to hear that, because it's like every single person, or most, it's almost like, yes, it's different testimonies, but it's
Yes.
coming to the same thing where what he's preaching is truth, because that is what matters. Yes, okay,
Yes.
listen, first church musicians, they may be, all right, they may be this, the singing may not be there left and right, but the one thing, I'm not saying that's the case, I'm just giving an example now, where
Uh-huh.
let's say the singing, or the praise and the praises, it's all right, it's not there. But the real question at the end of the day is the word there? That's all that matters. Is what this man is telling me, is it like putting me in hell, or is it helping me to save me, to get me out of hell? That's what it comes down to. So
That's
no,
true.
I'm truly grateful and thankful to God, for shaping you,
Yes.
and really getting out of you something that could have gotten much worse,
True.
because the position you're in, a lot of people, they don't really come back, especially that quick, right? Because that's why some parents, they're afraid of getting their whether it be nephew or people from back home, to bring them
Yes.
to Canada or to America, because some of them, they just go all over the place, right?
That's
They bring you for a cause, and now they get disrespectful, they get rowdy and so forth. So it's a
yes.
blessing that God is able to root you in this teaching. So before we conclude, question I always ask,
Yes.
most of the people that are on, how grateful, or two questions. First being
Uh-huh.
is, how grateful are you to God for sending the man of God? How grateful are you to God for Pastor Gino Jennings, in terms of, you have the opportunity to really, like, hear the teachings, to really get yourself right with, how grateful are you to God for that?
Uh, it means so much to me, to be honest. It means so much to me. And I'm so thankful for God
Mm,
for sending Pastor Gino Jenny. Because out here, it ain't easy. The world ain't
mm,
easy and the world getting worse.
yeah.
And Pastor Gino Jennings putting things in order compared to those other preachers, and so
Mm-hmm,
they ain't warning you, they're just teaching you financial blessing and
mm-hmm,
all those prophecies. But let's prophesy with financial blessing, let's prophesy for this blessing and that blessing, but they ain't warning the people. But Pastor Gino Jennings laboring, putting his life on the line just to help people save souls. So I'm really grateful, really from the heart. I'm really grateful.
oh, well, that's
God
wonderful.
sending Pastor Gino Jennings to
That's
warn us. and to save. Help us
Uh,
to be saved. Because there is hope.
oh. And you're 100% sure that
Yes, I'm 100% sure.
he's truly sent by God. That God has truly sent this man in
That's
these last days. You're
that's right.
100% sure.
That's right. I'm 100% sure. That's right. I'm 100% sure.
Wonderful. That's what, and there's not even a little doubt in your
No,
mind.
I'm 100%
You know
sure.
this, so you know 100% the truth of God is God's church.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
wonderful, but that's wonderful. Brothers, the viewers that are watching this, those of you outside, you see it yourself over and over and over and over again. Brothers and sisters constantly showing the confidence in this teaching, but yet you just playing around with it. You know something PJ said today
Uh-huh.
on Sundays, where if you make it through 2021, it's
Yes.
none other but by God's grace and mercy, and it's just because He's extending you more time, He's giving you more time
Yeah. I
to do it
remember
right
I
way.
watched that I
Today
watched it.
it was
Yeah.
today. You know, so those of you watching, sincere question, I just have for yourself. I mean, you could ask yourself, what's stopping you from really getting right with God the right way? What is your real problem with holiness?
Yeah. It's
Like
true.
I could listen, I could understand someone saying, look, this thing is very it's right, it's true, but it's too difficult for me right now. I could understand that. But
Yeah.
to you that is always trying to find left and right and saying, nah, this is just wrong with it. He's not preaching with love. He's a bit too rough. You know what I'm saying? The women, they look abused in there. You know what I'm saying? It's just this and like you always have to find some type of, and when you
Yeah.
can't find anything useful, anything for proof, now you have to just start lying. Oh, Pastor Gino Jennings said he's God. Oh, they worship Pastor Gino Jennings like he's God. Oh, they're actually getting, you have to make stuff up now. And you know what's crazy? You have these false prophets out here get caught cheating on their wives, get caught in adultery, all these things, racketeering, making people pay for prophecies. And yet you're going to find all the excuses in the world to say, well, look, we all make mistakes, it's all right. And which we do, I understand. But you're always going to find a way to say, you know what, it's fine, it's okay. Go ahead, pass, keep preaching. You did your wrong. Let's keep moving on it. But here you can't find any of those things from the apostle, but something's wrong with him. No, man. Something's wrong with him. You never. When did you ever hear First Church? Oh, they're getting investigated in terms of where the money's going, or when did you ever hear Pastor Jennings caught with this woman at the strip club, or whatever? When did you hear these things? You don't, but yet you find something. You gotta find something to blame and say, nah, this ain't right. Just admit that you just can't handle it. It's too hard. Just say that. No, if you say that, I understand because it is. This teaching right here, like I say, moreover, it is the hardest thing I have to do every single day I wake up.
True.
Very difficult. And something you said, brother, it's now you have to be careful with what you say. You can't just talk freely like some
True.
of the other, especially at these workplaces. You
Yeah.
could be nice 6 in the morning. Man, what the F is going on with all these effing people, man? Like,
True. True. True.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You just can't. Well, you just have to stay composed and say, relax. And even when you get angry, right?
True.
You're allowed to be angry, but it says you can't sin while you're angry. So it's difficult. Ay. It's difficult. So
True.
God is letting you be angry, but you can't sin. He's not saying you could sin. Well, no, brother. Thank you very much for coming on to share your testimony. I'm truly, truly grateful for it. It's always a blessing when a brother could come on because a lot of times, like I said, people are shocked by the amount of men that are in First Church.
True.
Because most of the time, when it comes to church, everybody knows it's mostly women inside there. That's
That's
it.
true. That's
Because
true.
that woman, she's trying to find some way to escape her house, whatever, or the man she's with,
Yeah.
or just she just wants because it's church, just how women be and so
True.
forth. So
Mhm.
it's always a blessing to have
Yeah.
a man come on and share his testimony. As I said, you you have to really evaluate yourself,
Yes.
you know in terms of where you want to be with this, and I say this because brother Sam's passing, it had an effect on me, because
Oh.
at the same time it's scary, at the same time it's like, Wow, because not the first time where I talk to somebody all healthy and everything, and then they're gone. So I guess it's the first time in truth.
Yes.
It's just a different experience. So brothers and sisters, and those of you watching from outside, sincerely, like don't take this opportunity for granted. You
True.
know, like I said, this is real people, real testimonies, and real truth. People that are coming on here sharing their this is their life. This is real life right now. And the more and more you can continue to play funeral after funeral, you're gonna find some lying preacher that's gonna say the same lie. This person had no God in their life, but he's seen them in heaven. And that's comfort to you. That's comforting. It's just, I'm telling you all right now. I'm telling you all. As hard as this will be the greatest thing for you. It will save you from a lot. It will help you with a lot, and it'll give you understanding to avoid a lot.
True.
So sincerely, put it like this: as PJ says it best, it takes a real man and a real woman to be in this teaching.
That's true.
You can't be anything less than that. If there's not enough man in you to be in this teaching, you're not gonna be in it.
True.
If there's not enough woman in you to be in this teaching, you're just not gonna be in it.
That's true.
So keep one another in prayer. Love one another as much as you can. I'm not saying start going be all lovey dovey dovey but sincerely, because you really never know. You really do not know when is going to be your last time or that
True.
person you're speaking to. Like I'm saying, I was speaking to Brother Sam's, just like me and Brother Tedroy is having a conversation,
Yeah.
healthy, talking about this in the future, that in the future. He was trying to get this. What if I can help him with it? It was just regular conversation, and now just gone. Just within a year's time, or barely a year, because it was December. It was end of December, so not even a year. That's quick.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know when our last time is going to be. So keep one another in prayer. Thank you for listening. Share this out with your relatives, your immediate family, and so forth. Share this out with them. Subscribe to this channel. Like, keep watching, because like I said, the more you do that, more it shows YouTube that this video is important, and other
Yes.
people could fall in it. What's my goal with this podcast is just to glorify God and to keep him first. I'm
True.
just grateful that God is able to use a piece of dirt like myself, or allow a piece of dirt like myself to use this platform to get testimonies from brothers and sisters. That's it. There's nothing good about me, brothers and sisters. There's nothing terrific. I'm just a regular man who God wicked man who God gave an opportunity to just even live. He doesn't even have to let me live to see tomorrow. But I'm grateful for it. He doesn't even have to let me live to see the next hour. But
True.
I'm grateful for it. Like God, he's my boss, he's my ruler. He dictate everything for me. And I can't accept it any other way. Will that upset some people? Absolutely. Right. But at the end of the day, I always put that ultimatum. Do I choose God or this situation? Do I choose God or my father? Do I choose
True.
God or my mother? Do I choose God or my brother? Or whatever the case is. You just have to choose God, and it's never close. I don't want to keep anybody even beside him,
That's
where
true.
it's a competition now. It's just he's first and that's it. So that's really my goal with this podcast, brothers and sisters. So those of you, especially those of you who've been in this teaching for a good chunk of years, please come along, share your testimony. It encourages myself as well as others who listen. It's always good to get great information. It's always good to get testimonies to come, because it's very encouraging to myself and the brothers and sisters in watching. I don't want to keep it too much long, but Brother Tedroy, thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
coming on. I'm like, sincerely, I really appreciate it, brother. I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time, ready and willing to share this testimony, because like I said, this podcast, it's been helping more people than I thought it would. But it's really
Yes.
encouraging people. This one is a real eye opener. It just goes to show how evil these false prophets really are,
That's
and what
true.
they will do in the name of Jesus, and
Yeah.
what they will do. And you know what's messed up? Someone who's crazy will probably look at, okay, well, he's charging you $200-300. I don't see nothing wrong with that. So some lunatics gonna probably say something
True,
like that.
that's true.
That's all he really needs. Just that one person all the time.
True,
That's why, brothers and sisters, get the knowledge so you could avoid stuff like this.
true.
That money that's gone, yeah, you may get it back some ways, but still, man, that even hurt me, and it wasn't me that gave him the money. Because even $5-10 is no good. Look, there's not supposed to be money at all. But if
True.
you was at least $5-10, why the man charging $200-300?
Yeah,
He's sick. It's these men, they do not care. They do not,
true,
like, they don't even care about God. They just do whatever they want.
true.
So keep me and my family in prayer, brothers and sisters. Keep Brother
I will.
Tedroy in prayer. Keep one another in prayer, brothers and sisters, and keep, Bishop Taylor and Brother Sam's and his family and all who need prayer. Keep them in prayer as well. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Send this out left and right, and keep sincerely, brothers and sisters. Keep me in prayer. Thank you very much. Take care. God bless and peace be.